It seems like just yesterday, Amandla Stenberg dropped that diss track. She was just going off on people and all kind of stuff and whatnot. And then not too long after that, the Acolyte was cancelled. And now finally she has broken her silence and spoken about it, and she's blaming conservatives and the alt-right. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, so Amandla Stenberg has come out and spoken about the cancellation of the Acolyte finally. And she did about a almost 10-minute video she posted to her Instagram where she's combing her hair and talking about it. I watched the video. I was going to do the whole, have the video play and then talk about it. But to be honest with you, I was just like really uninterested in the nonsense. But luckily, Cosmic Book News breaks it down. So I'm just going to go through the points that she spoke about and, give the information as it is. And you get to find out that she turned this whole thing into some weird political nonsense. Because, of course, so let's dive into this article here from Cosmic Book News. Amandla Stenberg blames fans for the Acolyte cancellation. Because, of course, why blame anybody else? There will be no rage twerking video this time. Well, it kind of was. I played part of that at the beginning of this video, so, sorry about that. But let's move on. Amandla Stenberg finally reacts to the cancellation of her Star Wars series. The Acolyte in a 10-minute video posted to her Instagram story. The 25-year-old actress blames the fans, conservatives, the alt-right, and insinuates Trump is to blame for the series cancellation. Now, the same thing with Trump, that happened at the end. She didn't actually say it, but what she said, like I said, the whole thing was kind of political. And then at the end, I'll go over exactly what it is they're talking about here. If you want to see this story, you could just look for it. It's very, very easy to find. You can find it on YouTube. You could find it on Instagram. Just look for it and you'll find it. No problem there. But okay, let's get into this. Stenberg says she wasn't surprised by the news of the cancellation because of all the vitriol surrounding the show from a certain segment of the fandom. The Acolyte was cancelled by Disney likely due to the poor viewership. Yeah, very poor viewership. The official Nielsen viewership ratings, which are attached to Disney Plus accounts, reveal The Acolyte to be the least watched Star Wars show on Disney Plus. Many episodes didn't even register on the Nielsen charts, and the season finale is also the least watched season finale for a Star Wars show on Disney Plus. And the only reason this thing even got views was because Star Wars was in the name. That's it. That's the really only reason that it got views. Have Star Wars in the name, that's why people check it out. But like they say, many of the episodes didn't even register on the Nielsen charts. The first 2 episodes, people check it out because they drop 1 and 2 at the same time. Check it out, and we're like, oh God, no, and then disappear. I think one more episode, I think only like 4 episodes ended up on the Nielsen charts, and that was it. That was literally it. People were not interested, and rightfully so. Why would they waste their time? And then there's any season finale is also the least watched season finale for a Star Wars show on Disney Plus, which is saying something. In the video, Stenberg began by acknowledging the cancellation, stating, "I'm going to be transparent and say that it's not a huge shock for me." Of course it's not a huge shock for her. Of course. They all pretty much went into that knowing it wasn't going to make any sense. You see, we'll continue a dip. However, she quickly shifted the conversation to the backlash she claims the series faced from the moment it was announced. Now, I'll continue on in a second, but she starts off saying that I'm going to be transparent and say that it's not a huge shock for me. Of course, it wasn't a huge shock for you. You knew exactly what you were making. You understand me? And this is the problem when you see they go out there and want to make these things only for themselves. Had you actually made a Star Wars series, which is an actual Star Wars series, you wouldn't have a problem. But that's not what you did. You all went in there knowing this was going to get cancelled. Don't pretend like it was supposed to be something that you spent $180 million allegedly. That's like $22 million per episode. And what happened? It made no sense from start to finish. But of course, best to blame everything else. This is what she continued on and say, for those who aren't aware, there has been a rampage of vitriol that we have faced since the show was even announced. But it was still just a concept that no one had even seen it. You come out to talk about a vitriol of a rampage and all that stuff that the show has faced. The show was even before the show was even was even started and stuff. You all remember when they first started talking about the Acolyte? They did everything wrong, literally everything wrong. They went out there and they told you that this is going to be about destroying the institution that is the Jedi. They went out and stated that, the Sith are going to be the underdogs and the Jedi. They basically put it out like, listen, the Sith are just misunderstood, but they're good, and the Jedi are evil. Of course, people are going to be upset because you have to understand, it's an established fact. The Jedi are good, the Sith are bad. You've seen the horrible things that the Sith have done. But they came out very early on and stated that, what they wanted to do was make the Sith the good guys and the Jedi the bad guys. And people were upset about that. People were upset about that, but you are not allowed to dislike anything anymore. They tell you what it is you're supposed to like, and that's what you're supposed to do. Because yeah, she done start off bad here already. And then let's keep in mind, when the show even actually started and it was going on, she and Leslie and then came out and talk about how, it's the gayest Star Wars ever. Because that's all they want to push. And this is what people get upset with. People just want to be entertained. But no, never good enough for it. She continued by pointing the blame at those she believes were behind the negative reaction. Stenberg pointed to a rampage of, I would say, hyper-conservative bigotry and vitriol, prejudice, hatred, and hateful language towards us. I would love to see some of this bigotry and prejudice, hatred, and hateful language. I would love to see it. But you can never, you see these people come out and they use terms like bigotry and racism and homophobia and all these things, but could never show a single instance of it. Someone saying, I don't like this show does not make them a racist. But that's how they play it. You come out to talk about bigotry, show some aspect of the bigotry, but no, all you have to say is, this is not a Star Wars show. The acting is terrible. The story makes no sense. The characters are ridiculous. The concept is nonsense. The show does not follow Star Wars law. It does not make any sense. And automatically, you're a racist, bigot, prejudice who's using hateful language. That's not hateful language. That's honesty. People have a right to like or dislike something, but you're not allowed to anymore. They tell you what you're supposed to like, and if you don't like it, they attack you by calling you all these buzzwords and cannot back up a single thing. Why? Because the way that they operate is, all they have to see, they know that they have no defense for what you're saying. So all they have to do is call you these things, and that in their mind is the greatest defense ever. That's it. She confessed, reflecting on the emotional toll of her perceived backlash. This really affected me when I first got the job, because it's just not something, even though I anticipated it happening, it's not something you can fully understand what it feels like until it's happening to you. It didn't affect her enough to drop that diss track, did it? No, didn't affect her enough for that. But now she's talking about, how it affected her. nonsense. Throughout the video, Steinberg made it clear that her experience had a profound impact on her. It was kind of like I had this very unique experience of experiencing the world at large, which is, of course, hyper-divisive right now, through the lens of this very, very unique opportunity of being in Star Wars. And it brought up a lot for me, a lot socio-political dynamics, a lot about my own value system, how I respond to that kind of hatred, how I move through the world at large. Must mention socio-political dynamics because this whole thing is nothing more than a carefully veiled political nonsense that you need to push, because that's what the entire lives revolve around now. That's what it revolves around. Up to now, she hasn't mentioned anything about the actual Acolyte show and you know how the story was good, how the characters were amazing, how they really expanded on the lore. Nothing. She doesn't say anything about it during the whole video, but that's it. Nothing. Because you don't care about that. You're just using this to push some kind of political narrative. Continues on. She also thanked the fans that did like the show for their support and said the targeted attack wasn't just about disliking the show, but was rooted in deeper, more troubling societal issues. Of course it was, because God forbid anybody just didn't like it. This is what she had to say. I just want to let those people know out there who supported us in that way and supported us vocally despite and in face of all the vitriol that we received and the kind of targeted attack I would say received by the alt-right. Of course, the alt-right. Just about you would deeply love the appreciation, and it made this job all the worthwhile for me, she said. Yes, because anybody who doesn't like the show is members of the alt-right. You understand me? That's it. This is nothing more than a carefully veiled political message. That's all it is. Steinberg concluded her message with a call to action that also alludes to political responsibility. While she didn't mention any political figures by name, the timing and context of her remarks is no coincidence and strongly hints at her views on the current political climate, in what can be interpreted as a direct reference to former President Donald Trump. She urged her viewers to vote. This is what she said: I'll continue to process this for a long time, but maybe the last thing I want to see on this subject is that we all exist. But I'm serious, it's not lost on me. However, the way that these events have unfolded is also due to the hyper-divisiveness of the time that we live in that is driven, I would say at this point, by echo chambers of thoughts and algorithms and reinforce our biases. And I think that applies to everybody. But I think that in a particular sect of people, it manifests as a lot of fear for what is changing and a lot of hatred for anything that is other. And I would challenge us all and challenge myself to continue questioning what it is that I digest and think critically about what shapes it. She added, and let's vote, y'all, let's vote. I think that's all I have to say. Yes, let's vote, y'all, let's vote. Look, when someone is watching Star Trek, someone's watching Star Wars, or somebody is watching Lord of the Rings, somebody watching anything, they don't care about anything to do with political nonsense. Nothing. But you're out here calling people alt-right. Let's vote, y'all. Let's vote. I don't even live in the United States, and I really and truly have no interest whatsoever in Democrats, Republicans. I don't care about that. I just want to sit and watch something and be entertained. That's it. That is all that I want. And no, you are unable to do this. I'm telling you, I watched the entire video that she did. She never mentioned anything to do with the Acolyte itself. Nothing. This was nothing more than some cleverly veiled political message to try and push an agenda. And that's why she had to end it with the whole let's vote, y'all, let's vote. Because no, if you don't watch the Acolyte, if you don't watch things like that and enjoy yourself, you're somehow supporting Trump. That's what this whole thing is about. So you're out there blaming the fans, blaming the conservatives, calling people alt-right, blaming Trump, blaming this, but not 1 second of iota to sit down and say, maybe we didn't make a good show. Maybe we made something that we thought was going to be for ourselves, and this didn't happen. Because the people who you made this show for, they didn't show up. They did not show up to watch anything. But that's what you did. You made something for yourself, and this was the fallout for it. It's not surprising the Acolyte got cancelled. You cannot take $180 million, the $22 million per episode, and get no returns on it. This is a business, people. They have to make entertainment, make money to make more things. That did not happen. And you coming out here to just blame the alt-right and all of this nonsense and act like, well, this is the best thing possible for what's going on. No, it ain't happening. So her big response to the Acolyte being cancelled is just her using this platform as a cleverly veiled political message about all kind of nonsense in regards to it. You're not surprised that your show got cancelled? Well, I can tell you for what, I'm surprised it ever got made. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the notification bell to be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.